There you go. It's the medical examiner that's being escorted. It's a medical examiner. And the car. Get the car. The car.
Newly released footage of rapper Young Dolph's tragic death has taken the internet by storm, reigniting public interest in the investigation surrounding his. The video, which surfaced on social media, offers a clearer and more chilling glimpse into the fatal shooting that claimed the life of the Memphis legend in 2021. As fans and the hip-hop community revisit the harrowing details of his death, questions about the suspects, motives, and Dolph's lasting impact resurface, bringing fresh waves of grief and speculation.
Also at 4, it's day 2 and the Young Dolph trial, which much of today's testimony showing video surveillance, prosecutors say, ties suspect Justin Johnson to the car used in the.
Memphis rapper Young Dolph, born Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., was tragically gunned down on Wednesday, November 17, 2021, in his hometown of Memphis, leaving the hip-hop world in shock. The incident occurred at Makita's Butter Cookies, a beloved South Memphis bakery that Dolph often visited. According to Morris Hill, the owner of the shop, the 36-year-old rapper had stopped by to purchase cookies when, in a sudden and brutal attack, an assailant drove up to the bakery and opened fire, fatally wounding Dolph. The news of his death sent shockwaves through Memphis and beyond, with fans, friends, and fellow artists mourning the loss of a talent who had made a significant impact on both the music industry and his community. Young Dolph was known not only for his sharp lyricism and entrepreneurial spirit, but also for his philanthropic efforts, regularly giving back to Memphis, the city that raised him. As the investigation unfolded, U.S. Marshals identified 23-year-old Justin Johnson as the prime suspect, accusing him of carrying out the fatal shooting. Johnson, who was already known to law enforcement for previous offenses, was placed at the center of a high-profile manhunt that would further captivate the public's attention. The tragedy sparked conversations about violence within the hip-hop community, and Dolph's death became another devastating reminder of the dangers that have claimed the lives of far too many artists. With new footage emerging and the case still drawing significant media coverage, the unanswered questions surrounding Dolph's continue to loom large.
New at 10, day 1 in the trial of Justin Johnson, the man accused of rapper Young Dolph. There were explosive accusations and pictures of the clothes Dolph wore when he was shot were shown as evidence. Young Dolph was killed outside a cookie shop in South Memphis 3 years ago.
And prosecutors say the rapper was ordered after he wrote lyrics that disrespected someone from another record label.
Fox 13 obtained chilling images of the suspected shooters in the fatal attack on Young Dolph, showing 2 armed individuals standing outside Makita's Butter Cookies, moments before they opened fire on the rapper. In the photos, one of the assailants is seen wielding what appears to be a semi-automatic rifle, while the second suspect takes aim with a handgun, directing their fire into the bakery. The shooters are alleged to have arrived in a white, 2-door Mercedes-Benz, parking nearby before quickly running past Young Dolph's car and launching their deadly assault into the shop. Memphis police have since called the shooting a senseless act of violence, expressing deep condolences to the Thornton family and all those affected by the loss of the Memphis icon. In a public statement, law enforcement pledged to remain committed to curbing such tragedies, emphasizing their determination to bring the perpetrators to justice. However, the devastating impact of this event on both the community and the music world has left a wound that remains raw. As news of the shooting spread, hundreds of people rushed to the scene, turning the normally quiet bakery into a hotspot of grief, chaos, and tension. Emotions ran high, with many fans and onlookers overwhelmed by the enormity of the loss. Some dropped to the ground, overcome by grief, weeping openly for the fallen star, while others vented their frustration and anger at the ongoing cycle of gun violence that had claimed another life, calling for peace and unity in the wake of the tragedy. The scene became a mix of mourning and fury, as Dolph's admirers struggled to make sense of the sudden and brutal loss of someone many considered a hometown hero. Amid the emotional outpouring, chaos erupted. In a dramatic turn of events, a car with a wounded man inside drove directly into the crime scene, causing a stir among the gathered crowd. Paramedics rushed to his aid, quickly taking him away on a stretcher as police tried to maintain control of the situation. With tensions already heightened, the unexpected arrival only added to the sense of urgency and fear. For hours, Memphis police worked to secure the area and gather evidence as they processed the crime scene. Airways Boulevard, one of the city's busiest thoroughfares, was shut down as officers continued their investigation, while community members watched helplessly from a distance, unable to comprehend how such a tragedy could happen in their neighborhood. Young Dolph had been a regular at Makita's Butter Cookies, known for his support of local businesses and his dedication to uplifting the Memphis community. In fact, just a week before his untimely death, Dolph had visited the bakery, spreading positivity and promoting the business on social media, a gesture that now feels tragically bittersweet. His death has left a void not only in the rap world, but also in the hearts of those who admired him for his dedication to his hometown and his efforts to make a difference. It's official. Justin Johnson, also known by his rap moniker Straight Drop, has been found guilty in the high-profile Memphis rap icon Young Dolph, whose real name was Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. After months of anticipation, the verdict has come down. Johnson will serve a life sentence for his role in the cold-blooded assassination of the beloved artist, who was gunned down outside Makita's Butter Cookies in November 2021. This marks a significant moment in a case that has not only gripped the hip-hop community, but has also shaken Memphis to its core, leaving fans mourning and demanding justice since the day Dolph was tragically taken. The conviction brings a degree of closure to many who have followed the case closely, especially Young Dolph's family, friends, and loyal fan base. However, while the guilty verdict may be the conclusion to Johnson's trial, it is far from the end of his story. As he begins his life sentence, a new chapter unfolds, one filled with uncertainty about how he will fare in the prison system, given both the nature of his crime and the high-profile nature of his victim. Prison life for Johnson is likely to be harsh and fraught with danger. His involvement in of a beloved figure like Young Dolph, whose influence extended far beyond music and deep into the community, could make him a target behind bars. Many fans saw Young Dolph as more than just an artist. He was a symbol of success and philanthropy, giving back to Memphis and uplifting those around him. His viewed as a senseless act of violence driven by greed or revenge, has left a bitter taste in the mouths of those who admired him. Johnson may face animosity, not just from fellow inmates, but potentially from those within the prison system who held Young Dolph in high regard. Moreover, the circumstances surrounding the crime may lead to further complications for Johnson during his incarceration. Being involved in the assassination of a prominent figure, particularly in the hip-hop world, often carries additional risks in prison. The notoriety associated with this crime could either elevate his profile among certain groups or make him a pariah among others. High-profile cases like this often draw a complex mix of reactions, and Johnson will have to navigate a difficult and potentially dangerous environment as he serves his time.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment.
One of the two men accused in the brazen daylight of beloved rapper Young Dolph has been convicted on all charges, marking a pivotal moment in a case that has captivated both Memphis and the wider hip-hop community. After just 4 hours of deliberation, the jury delivered a swift and decisive verdict, finding 26-year-old Justin Johnson guilty of first-degree conspiracy to commit and unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Johnson, whose criminal past already placed him on law enforcement's radar, became a central figure in this high-profile case, which has sparked intense emotions and widespread media coverage since Young Dolph's tragic death in 2021. The prosecution presented a compelling case, meticulously connecting Johnson to the calculated ambush that unfolded in broad daylight at Makita's Butter Cookies, a local South Memphis bakery. On November 17, 2021, Young Dolph, born Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., had stopped by the bakery, an ordinary errand for a man known for supporting local businesses, only to be gunned down in a shocking act of violence. The swift verdict underscores the overwhelming weight of the evidence, as prosecutors painted a chilling picture of a premeditated hit, pointing to Johnson as a key player in the conspiracy. The of Young Dolph sent ripples far beyond Memphis, as fans, fellow artists, and community members mourned the loss of a man who was more than just a rapper. Dolph was a symbol of perseverance and success, a self-made artist who rose to prominence in the independent music scene and used his platform to give back to his city. His contributions to Memphis extended far beyond his music. He was known for his philanthropy, regularly hosting charity events, donating to local schools, and providing for families in need. His death, in such a senseless and public manner, devastated not only his family and fans, but also the city that he loved and represented. Justin Johnson's conviction marks a significant step toward justice for young Dolph's loved ones, though it cannot erase the immeasurable pain left in the wake of his loss. For young Dolph's family, including his longtime partner, children, and close-knit community of friends, the emotional toll remains overwhelming. They have had to navigate their grief while the world watched, mourning a man whose impact reached far beyond the music industry. The trial has brought renewed attention to the broader issue of violence plaguing the hip-hop community, with young Dolph's death becoming a tragic reminder of the perils that continue to claim the lives of talented artists. The courtroom provided some semblance of resolution, but questions still linger about what led to the tragic events of that November day. Authorities have described the as a calculated hit, suggesting a deeper conspiracy that could involve more players yet to be fully revealed. Johnson, along with others implicated in the has been scrutinized for his ties to Memphis's underground world, adding another layer of complexity to the case. While Johnson's conviction represents justice in the legal sense, there remains a collective desire for a broader understanding of the motivations behind the crime and whether there are more individuals who have yet to be held accountable. The impact of young Dolph's death continues to reverberate throughout Memphis. Murals of the late rapper adorn city walls, and his music serves as both a tribute and a rallying cry for those determined to honor his legacy. His philanthropic work also lives on, with various community initiatives inspired by the values he stood for. The trial may have concluded with a conviction, but for many, the process of healing is only just beginning. As the 13th juror, I affirm this verdict. As to the first degree, I sentence you to life in prison, Shelby County Judge Jennifer Mitchell said, as Johnson sat quietly during the proceedings streamlined by law and crime. The judge said she planned to sentence Johnson for the other 2 counts on November 1st. I'm feeling relief that justice was brought today. We finally got to see the full picture of what happened, and it's going to help with the healing process, said Carlissa Brown, young Dolph's sister, in an emotional statement to Rolling Stone. Brown had attended the trial in person, steadfastly present throughout the proceedings, and was seated in the courtroom on Thursday when the guilty verdict was announced. For her and the entire family, the moment represented the end of a long, agonizing journey toward justice. Throughout the trial, young Dolph's loved ones and supporters were forced to relive a heart-wrenching details, many of which had been kept hidden for security reasons until this pivotal week in court. Prosecutors, who had previously shielded much of the evidence, revealed an explosive claim that added a new and sinister layer to the case. Justin Johnson, along with his admitted accomplice Cornelia Smith, allegedly carried out the as part of a plot to collect a portion of an alleged $100,000 bounty. This bounty, according to testimony, was reportedly offered by Anthony Big Jook Mims, the brother of Yo Gotti, young Dolph's longtime rival in the Memphis rap scene. The revelation shocked the courtroom and the public alike, as it exposed the depth of the rivalry and the chilling role that greed played in the tragedy, turning what seemed like a senseless act of violence into a deadly conspiracy motivated by money and long-standing animosity. We had reassurance it was a strong case, but we didn't know everything, Brown explained, reflecting on the emotional weight her family carried throughout the trial. Despite the gravity of the accusations, Brown and her family had confidence that the truth would eventually surface, but the full scope of the events leading to young Dolph's death was more harrowing than they imagined. Based on the evidence, it wasn't a shock Johnson was convicted. The person responsible had to reap the consequences and get what they deserved. It was worth the wait. In a statement posted on Instagram, young Dolph's fiancée, Mia J., the mother of his 2 children, said the verdict brings relief and restores my confidence in the justice system. She thanked law enforcement, prosecutors, and everyone involved for their diligent work in securing the conviction. We are also grateful to the public for standing with us and advocating for accountability throughout this process, Jay said. The past 3 years, marked by the loss of Adolph and the events leading to the trial, have been incredibly frustrating. My faith has been tested, but Adolph's tragic execution has only strengthened my resolve to fight, not only for him, but for all Black men. This is just the beginning of our journey toward achieving full justice for Adolph, and we will patiently support the unfolding of that process. Over the past 2 decades, the South has become a dominant force in hip-hop, with cities like Atlanta, Houston, Miami, and New Orleans producing some of the genre's biggest legends. However, one city that stands shoulder to shoulder with these rap powerhouses is Memphis, Tennessee, which has quietly solidified itself as a breeding ground for top-tier rap talent. Legendary acts like 3 6 8 Ball and MJG and Project Pat laid the foundation for Memphis's influence on hip-hop, creating a distinct sound that continues to resonate throughout the industry. In recent years, Memphis has produced a new generation of rap stars, with Yo Gotti standing at the forefront. Yo Gotti, once an independent hustler grinding his way up the music ladder, has emerged as one of the most popular and influential figures in the rap game. His breakout singles like I Know and the massive hit Down in the DM propelled him to national fame, cementing his status as a key player in modern hip-hop. But Yo Gotti's impact extends beyond his own success. He has built a small empire with his label, Collective Music Group, CMG, which has become home to some of Memphis's rising stars, including artists like Snooty Wild and Black Youngsta. Through CMG, Gotti has not only expanded his influence, but also helped shine a spotlight on Memphis's rich talent pool, further solidifying the city's role in shaping the sound and future of Southern rap. While Yo Gotti has long been the most established Memphis artist of this generation, he has faced rising competition in the form of young Dolph, a Chicago-born but Memphis-raised rapper who carved out his own lane in the city's thriving hip-hop scene. In 2008, young Dolph launched his independent label, Paper Route Empire, and began making a name for himself through his high-class street music mixtape series. His growing success caught the attention of major players in the industry, leading to collaborations with notable artists like Gucci Mane and Pee Wee Longway. By 2015, young Dolph experienced a breakthrough year, gaining significant attention and momentum. His increasing popularity put him on par with the city's rap veterans, including Yo Gotti, who had previously attempted to sign Dolph to his CMG imprint. However, Dolph chose to remain independent, a decision that fueled a growing rivalry between the two Memphis powerhouses. As Dolph's buzz continued to build, the tension between him and Yo Gotti escalated, with both artists vying for dominance in their city's vibrant rap scene. In 2014, after releasing his mixtape High Class Street Music 4, American Gangster, young Dolph appeared on Sway in the Morning to discuss the project and his rising success. During the interview, Dolph opened up about his decision to remain independent rather than signing a record deal with Yo Gotti. He explained that he preferred to invest in himself and build his own movement rather than joining another artist's label. According to Dolph, this choice led to tension between him and Yo Gotti, suggesting that Gotti took offense to his refusal to sign. However, Yo Gotti has never publicly confirmed this as the source of their beef. The tension between young Dolph and Yo Gotti became evident on February 11, 2016, when Dolph took to Twitter to fire a subliminal shot at his Memphis counterpart. In his tweet, he claimed that Yo Gotti was unhappy with his rising success, stating, "Bra went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater," alluding to Gotti's unsuccessful attempt to sign him to his CMG label. Although Dolph didn't mention Gotti by name, it was clear who his words were directed at, igniting a chain reaction that would rapidly escalate their ongoing beef. During an appearance on Hot 97's Ebro in the morning show in February 2016, young Dolph downplayed his beef with Yo Gotti, going as far as to acknowledge the rapper as being one of his earliest supporters. "It's really overstated," Dolph responded when asked about the rumored tension between the two Memphis reps. Young Dolph also cleared the air about the title of his LP, King of Memphis, stating that it wasn't meant to be a diss of any kind and that it was more inspired by him and his crew's mentality. "All my partners, King, everybody got some paper, everybody move like I move, and they morals and all of that," Dolph explained, quieting concerns of a brewing war for the crown of Memphis rap. The rivalry between young Dolph and Yo Gotti intensified on March 2nd, 2017, when Black Youngsta, a CMG artist and Gotti's associate, posted a video on Instagram that took aim at Dolph and challenged his claim to the title of King of Memphis. In the now deleted clip, Youngsta aggressively addressed Dolph, saying, "Dolph, you a expletive, you a soft N-word. If you got a problem, say you got a problem." He continued to disparage Dolph, referring to him as a expletive N-word and asserting, "You ain't even no King of Memphis. He ain't from the city, expletive." To further escalate the situation, Youngsta included a menacing caption that read, "When I see that N-word at young Dolph, I'ma smack the expletive out him on my life," leaving little doubt that the animosity between young Dolph and Yo Gotti was as serious as the rumors had suggested. After initially issuing threats against young Dolph on behalf of Yo Gotti, Black Youngsta escalated the situation by making a bold move into young Dolph's territory in Memphis. Accompanied by a group of his associates, Youngsta recorded a video of their venture through South Memphis's Castalia neighborhood, openly searching for Dolph while armed with heavy artillery. Although young Dolph was not present during this aggressive encounter, the footage underscored the severity of their rivalry, revealing that this conflict runs far deeper than mere rap beef. The display of intimidation and bravado made it clear that the stakes were high and tensions were escalating in a dangerous direction. When Black Youngsta began dissing Young Dolph, many believed that Yo Gotti was responsible for his artist's decision to take the beef into his own hands, but the CMG boss would state otherwise. During an interview with Tim Westwood, Yo Gotti wouldn't address a beef with Young Dolph, but would comment on Black Youngsta's recent antics and against Gotti's rival. Lil homie on the team, so I'm gonna always give him the proper advice that I believe I should give him from like a big brother standpoint or just being the homie standpoint. Gotti states in the clip, "My advice? You know I don't move like that. I'm going to always tell, not only him, but any youngin' don't handle your business like this." Spending much of February 2017 waging war against Yo Gotti, Young Dolph now appears to be over the situation and focused on the future instead of the past. That's old news. You know what I'm saying? It's old, Dolph said during an interview on March 7, 2017, when asked about his beef with Yo Gotti. Months after dismissing his feud with Yo Gotti as old news, Young Dolph made headlines again when he was shot in Hollywood and rushed to the hospital. The alarming news raised concerns among fans and the hip-hop community, reigniting conversations about the ongoing tensions surrounding the rapper. Just hours after reports emerged that rapper Young Dolph had been shot in Hollywood, it was revealed that Yo Gotti had been named a person of interest by the LAPD. Sources indicated that both Yo Gotti and Young Dolph were staying at the Lowe's Hotel at the time of the incident. According to reports, a confrontation between members of their entourages escalated into a heated argument that culminated in a fistfight, eventually leading to gunfire and leaving Dolph injured. This shocking turn of events added fuel to the already simmering tensions between the two rappers. Following reports of Young Dolph being shot in Hollywood, TMZ initially reported that the LAPD had named Yo Gotti as a person of interest in connection with the incident. However, this claim was later clarified to be unfounded when XXL contacted the LAPD for confirmation. This clarification highlighted the ongoing confusion and speculation surrounding the circumstances of the shooting. According to prosecutors, the chilling plot to Young Dolph was deeply intertwined with the ambitions of aspiring rapper Justin Johnson, known as Straight Drop. They alleged that Johnson was lured by a tempting offer from Anthony Big Jook Mims, the brother of Yo Gotti, which promised not only a significant financial reward, but also the possibility of a recording contract with Yo Gotti's collective music group, CMG. For Johnson, eager to elevate his rap career, this opportunity appeared too enticing to ignore. Assistant District Attorney Paul Hagerman presented a harrowing account, revealing that Big Jook allegedly made Johnson an offer he couldn't refuse. If he carried out the hit on Young Dolph, he would gain favor with CMG and potentially secure a coveted spot on the label's roster. This prospect was not just an opportunity, it was a dangerous gamble that Johnson reportedly embraced, viewing it as a pathway to fame and success in the fiercely competitive music industry. Prosecutors depicted Johnson as a man blinded by greed, willing to resort to achieve his dreams, underscoring the perilous intersection of ambition and violence within the world of rap.
Do you know who he was trying to get him a deal with?
Oh, Big Joke, got it.
As the haunting footage of Young Dolph's tragic death circulates online, it serves as a stark reminder of the violence that can permeate the world of hip-hop. If you enjoyed this video, click on the ones showing on your screen now to watch similar content.